What's up YouTube, Redbeard's Garage, and welcome to vlog 2. Now today I got to finally fix my truck. The transfer case has been out for about a week and a half now. I was hauling a lot of gravel and pretty much put way too much gravel and dirt all throughout the week in it, and finally that old transfer case went out. I had bought it from a junkyard and they had abused the truck that this transfer case was in, so I'm surprised it even lasted as long as it did. So I'm gonna grab my tools and get up under the truck. I'm gonna scotch it first, then I gotta take the rear drive shaft off and then the front drive shaft, and then it's like 6 bolts and 1 plug and it should drop. So let's get to it. Well, I'm under a Ford. There's a lot of leakage on this old truck. Bless her heart, she's dying. But I got 1.5 bolts left in the transfer case, and then I got to pop the linkage off that goes down to the shifter. Then I can pull this thing off and prep the new one. But yeah, this is so much fun. I love it. I love it. I probably should have jacked the rear end up, but I didn't. So it's a little bit harder. So when we're done, I'm probably going to jack the rear end up to make it a little bit better. But yeah, lots of fun mechanic work. You big dumb dummy.
So how's it going?
What do you think, Becca? We're about done. Oh, I didn't know you was recording. I didn't mean to be a jackwagon. Ow, mother of... We're done. I mean, we're bolting it. But the drive shaft bolts are 12 point. So you got to make sure you have a 12 point socket, or you can use the box side of a wrench and you'll be golden. Isn't that right, Trey?
Golden for silver.
Nobody cares. Idiot. Where's that other wrench at? There it is.
I need to lock. I need something to lock. Where's that pry bar?
Well, you want to lock it in gear?
Oh, was that Lonnie when all the work is done?
Probably. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a radio and door speakers in a 2004 Nissan Frontier. So I'm going to throw y'all on the tripod while I do this. I'm not going to go into a detailed how-to on this truck. It's just a customer's vehicle. I want to get it knocked out real quick so we can go on to other things. So I'll throw you on the tripod and we'll get that done really fast. So I got this all heat shrinked up. I don't use electrical tape unless I have to. Like on this this remote wire that is running to the amp turn on. I don't believe this vehicle has an amp, but I went ahead and hooked it up and the powered antenna. So since it was 2 wires running into one, my heat shrink wasn't big enough to go over both wires. So I heat shrinked as much as I could and then put a little electrical tape around it. Now I'm going to take this whole wiring harness and bunch it together, as well as with the microphone wire, that's that black wire right there, and do some strands of electrical tape around it just to keep it as one big harness. And also Nissans do not have a ground in their factory wiring harness. So what I had to do was solder in a piece of ground wire and run it to a self-tapping screw with a spade or a fork connector, and it's getting ground on that metal harness. I've already plugged everything up and it sounds good. There's no buzzing noise from the body of the vehicle, so we're good to install the radio back into the dash. Now first I'm going to test fit it because I have not tried it at all, in this dash. But if the test fit works out fine, then we're good and we can start pulling the door panels off. So now I'm on to replacing the factory speakers. She has bought some new ones. I have already did the driver side, and of course the radio is already in. So this is a pretty simple process. You have to pop this clip out with a knife or a flathead screwdriver. Then there's a Phillips head screw right behind this handle, and then one in the grab handle as well. Then once you get those two screws out and that one clip, you're going to pull the back of this and it'll pop out, revealing a screw. And then you're going to want to pop this panel off, and there'll be a screw right in this area, and then the door panel just kind of pops off, and then you raise it off of the window lip. So I'll throw you on the tripod and get this done. Forgot to also mention to pull the trim off of the door handle. You can see Nissan's use these adapters. She was gracious enough to supply the adapters with the speakers, as well as the harness that'll plug right into the factory pigtail on the door. So I'm going to remove these 3 Phillips heads, unplug the harness, and install this in the trim ring that matches this. All the links to all these products will be in the description below. Okay, so we got that truck done, and it is now Sunday. I didn't do a lot last night. We did the live stream, and then I worked on the 4-seater, which you can see it is a rolling chassis now. The steering isn't hooked up yet. I do need to make some tie rod links, as well as extend the steering shaft to reach down to that rack and pinion setup. But you know, it's really close to being done. I really got a lot done having my brother here. That was a massive help. So thanks to old Big Red for coming down and helping me out, because it always sucks doing it all by yourself. You know, trying to do 10 different things. So it was nice for him to be able to do, you know, whatever he wanted to on it, and me cut stuff, and just worked out really good. So now Auxbeam has actually sent me some headlights for my truck and my wife's car. So I'm going to put some nice LED headlight bulbs in my truck and my wife's Tahoe, and here they are. So here's the headlight bulbs they have sent me. These are for my truck, which is 9007. Then my wife's car takes 9006 and 9005s. We went with the S4 series of bulbs for her vehicle, and then we went with the F16s for my truck. So I'm going to get to putting these in my old Ford first, and then we'll pull my wife's car around here and get the new LEDs installed in it. So one thing I wanted to note is first off, there's the two difference in the bulbs. Of course, quite a bit. This one does have a little fan in the bottom of it, and it is quite noisy. Then it comes with the adapter. This plugs up to the truck, and then this 3-prong plugs up to the pigtail that runs to, this is pretty much, I'm guessing, like a blaster box, like a HID would have. Just helps dissipate the power for the LED. But one thing they don't note in the description of these, you have to pull off this O-ring, and there's 2 tiny Phillips head screws. So let me pull this O-ring off, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So once you pull off this little O-ring right here, it'll reveal 2 tiny Phillips head screws that are in the side of this little bracket. There's the Phillips head screws. You have to remove this off of the bulbs on a 9007, well, on an F-150 anyways, because of how the headlights go in. So let me go pull the headlight bulb retainer off, And I'll show you how to install this inside that retainer, and then you'll have to screw it back to the bulb. So let me go grab that retainer. So here's that retainer off of my F-150. So basically you drop the black plastic piece down through the top where these little teeth are, and then you slide the bulb through the back of it, and then line up those screws. Let me find them right there. Line those up, put a screw in each side, and then you can put that O-ring back on and install it back inside the truck. So our good friends at Oxbeam has sent us a new light bar for our roof rack. I haven't used this roof rack in quite a while. She's been sitting in the mud. Made a lot of wind noise, which roof racks are known to do, and it put a hurting on my gas mileage from what I remember. So what I'm going to do is put it back on my truck and try a few tricks. They say online if you take a bungee cord and wrap it around this top post and this front post, that for some reason that messes with the aerodynamics. It'll fix a lot of it. So we're going to install this. Then Lonnie should be here within a month or two to help me put this onto my truck, and then we'll take it to the car wash, wash it off, but we'll wire it before that. So I built this for a 42-inch light bar, so this will sit down on there quite nice. And the flies are, or the mosquitoes are eating me up, by the way. But I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this thing up. And I did use the rubber pads under it so we won't have any vibration noise, and it's a lot better for the light bar not being you know, metal to metal. So I'll get this mother installed. I do see one problem though that I don't recall, and that's that these bolts aren't necessarily long enough, so I may have to do some, or they're long enough but the nuts won't go past. We'll see what we can do. I'm gonna have to modify these feet, so what I'm gonna do is take the feet off this light bar and do some cutting with an angle grinder, and then I don't remember having to do this on the last one, but probably did. Who knows? It's been a long time ago. Mosquitoes are crazy right now. Get off me! So the problem was on my roof rack, the bolts that I have welded didn't stick up past these ears that was on this. So I couldn't tighten the nut down because the nut was pretty much the same size as the little hole. Are you showing this too? Yes. So I took my angle grinder and cut this down, so now I'll be able to get a socket or a wrench on those nuts and tighten it down. So let's get her put on. And it's aluminum, so it isn't going to rust or anything if I leave that bare. It's a win-win. Oh yeah, works great. This comes with a pre-made wiring harness. This is actually a Bluetooth enabled light bar, so you can set the color that you want the light bar to glow. Pretty sweet. I'll give the links in the description below as well. But this is gonna be a pretty sweet light bar. The last one I had was like a $60 Amazon banger, and it was just garbage from the start. Did you ever see it? I mean, it was bright, for sure it was bright, but it was nothing like this one's gonna be. This one's gonna be stupid bright. Like should be illegal in 12 states bright. I was thinking you should stand like this. 1 foot on this inner and then pray. I mean, I don't care if it scratches the roof or whatever.
Like a flat bar on after breaking stuff.
That was good. Good practice.
Oh.
I don't know how to wire all this. So now I gotta solder.
Sorry.
I'm gonna do the first one and let Lonnie do the second one. But this soldering gun was on Amazon. I don't know where it's at now because it ain't for sale. But when you pull the trigger, it's like 130 watts. Normal, it's 30 watts. So this bad boy, it heats up quicker than most soldering irons. And so when you're soldering, how you want to do it is you want to tin your tip, get some solder on it, then lay it under the wire. And what that solder that you laid on the tip is going to do is transfer the heat of the soldering iron to the wire faster. And this is big wire, so it's going to take, and you want to try to do this as fast as possible for the reason of you don't want to start melting your insulation on your wire. So that's not done. I got to let this gun heat up a little bit more, and we'll finish this bad boy. And you want to keep the tip of the soldering iron clean of any old solder, because it will give you like a bad solder. That son of a gun will never, that's like a welded connection. It's nice. So how we prepare this wire is, oh yeah, if you want to be NASA certified, you got to lay the wires like that and solder them. That's not how I do it. This is Redbeard certification, but that's the way NASA requires you to solder, by the way. Fun tips at Redbeard's Garage. But you separate them like that, you entwine them together, and then you give them a nice twister. Soldering is very easy if you learn that, to tin your tip. That's the most important thing. I used to not know that, and it used to take me forever, and I'd end up melting the insulation. You want to do this one?
No.
Okay. Lonnie, you don't want to do that. You want to tin that tip to get a pull of solder, and this is hot enough now it should start taking. Now we can slide our heat shrink over. Make sure to let the solder cool down a little bit, because that heat shrink will melt when you touch that hot solder, and you might not get it all the way over the joint. Bam, that's a solid connection. That ain't going nowhere. So we're going to do these other 4 wires and get to wiring this freaking nightmare on this truck.
Light bar is done. Extremely bright. Lights up pretty far.
So I'm sure you guys was wondering why there was shocks on the back of this roof rack. Well, that is because I wanted it can't just mount solid to the bed of this truck, because the frame flexes on these vehicles quite a bit, and it needs to be able to move with the bed, but of course it needs to be tight on the cab. So these little A-arms and shocks will move when the bed twists, so it's going to work out really nice. And if you notice, I have a backup camera, and then I think that's like a 22-inch light bar. I need to wire those up still. The wires are setting under my truck, but I'll get them wired up at a later date. Once I get this bolted down, I'll show you the LEDs on the light bars, the different colors. So let me get this done, and we'll show you how she works.
What's the fact saying? Ding, 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 ding. And give me your phone. I'm gonna watch Ninja Turtles.
Shout out to crescent wrenches when you don't want to find the actual size wrench you need. And got a spider web on the roof rack and some road trash. That's one thing I have noticed the last couple of days is if I hit a plastic bag or something, it'll be stuck to the roof rack. Okay, well, that's what that looks like. I think it looks pretty awesome. What do you think, Geneva?
Yeah, it looks good.
Didn't sound really reassuring. These are A-arms off a 150 go-kart. I just welded some tabs. You can look at that one up close. I welded some tabs on it and then built this little angle iron thing that bolts to the bed. I need to later pull the A-arms off and put like 2 more of these self-tapping screws on the inside here, just because, I mean, this is going to move quite a bit, but it should move pretty freely. And you know, this doesn't affect the toolbox, and you can still open the toolbox. I am going to put, since I need to buy pumps for this bad boy, for this toolbox to keep the doors open, and I'm going to get a jerry can to probably go on the middle of my toolbox, a jerry gas can. I want a bumper jack and a spare tire on my roof rack later. I think that'd be pretty cool. People might call me redneck douchebag. So be it. Whatever you want, my truck, my rules. So I'll back the truck up and I'll show you that light bar. I think it's pretty cool. The LEDs, I mean, it's something you're never going to use, so you have to have it. Go to auxbeam.com, buy yourself 3.
Talk about blinding.
What do you guys think of the new light bar? What do you think about it, Geneva?
Pretty bright, pretty cool.
What does the colors look like today? Well, I guess I can get out and look. I'd still need to like tidy up my wires under the hood, and then I need to mount my 2 toggle. Basically, it has a toggle switch and then a momentary switch that changes through the colors, or you can hook to it through Bluetooth, but I haven't got that to work yet. Why not? Let's try it now. Okay, the weekend's over. This is actually the last little bit of footage you seen was Thursday. That's tonight. I didn't get to finish my vlog over the weekend, so I stretched it on out into the week. But yeah, let me know what you think of it. I know this one was more jumping around than the last one, but I kind of like them personally. I like editing them up and filming it all. My old beautiful wife's a huge help with these, because normally I wouldn't be getting anything because I never pick up the camera. But a couple things I want to show you before I end the video was I've never really showed my wall in detail and explained all the parts on it. So I'm going to do that real quick as my phone blows up, and go over a couple little projects that's been laying on the workbench that I need to get done. And I'm sure you've all noticed that I've slowed down a lot on my videos. I used to do 2 to 3 what I call my main build videos, like 4-seater, chopper, and all that. And the reason I used to do that was where y'all would get a good variety. You know, I could give y'all 1 episode of the 4-seater, 1 episode on the mini chopper, and then 1 episode on something else. So as of right now, I've slowed that down. Hopefully within a couple weeks I'll be able to pick it back up to I would like to do a week-long vlog. So a vlog from Monday to Friday, Monday to Thursday, and then another vlog from Friday to Sunday, if y'all like them. You know, we'll try that next week and see the way y'all like a weekend and a weekday vlog, as well as my normal build videos. So you'll still get a 4-seater video. It just all plans. See, we got to see what plans out with a few things I have in the works. If everything works out accordingly, then I'll be able to do a lot better videos for you guys and not be rushed for it. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys' support. I think it's amazing that we're at 18,000 subscribers. I think I've been working really hard at YouTube for about 8 months, 7 to 8 months, I believe. And I think that's really good numbers for how small of a channel I am. You know, I could do these videos that would grab a lot of views and stuff, but it's not what I want to do. I don't want to be fake, and I don't want to put just crap content out that's going to just grab views, and that's the only thing it's for. The things I build, I would actually play with on a daily basis, like the street go-kart. You know, before I bent the valve or the push rod, whatever's wrong with it. you know, that's something I would jump on through the week and ride. I feel like if I built something just to grab views, like, you know, something crazy, it's just going to sit here and be a pointless build, and I'm going to have all kinds of money in parts. I mean, I know Go Power Sports sends me a certain amount of parts, but there's a lot of stuff that they don't carry that I need. I mean, all my projects are, you know, crazy expensive. But I'm going to stop rambling about that, and I'm going to show you the wall real quick and kind of go over a few items that's on the wall. So I'll flip you around. Okay, so starting off over here, that's the steering wheel that I originally had on the street go-kart. Piece of junk eBay steering wheel, but it looks pretty cool up on the wall. This was a spare eBay filter, and the eBay filters are really crappy quality. Don't run them on your cars. Buy an actual K&N. That's the filters I like anyways. And I had this extra piece of, like, I think this is 3-inch pipe laying around, so I made me a little cold air intake. That is a dual valve spring for a F250. This used to be a display. This whole workbench used to be a display at the Ford dealership I work at. This top workbench, that wood wasn't there, and it was slanted and had a bunch of performance, or not performance parts, but parts that are in the F-150 to kind of break down why our trucks are better than other people's trucks and the performance that goes into the F-150. So I converted it into this workbench. I welded some angle iron down bottom to set my toolboxes and my PC. I made this really nice plywood workbench or worktop for it, and I've heavily glossed it, so it's tough and stuff. And it had a TV on it, but I put a little bit bigger TV, and my computer of course is hooked up to it. And then I have some LED strips up here at the top, and if you flip this switch right here, it glows the workbench. I like it quite a bit. Check out Okie Chopper. He's a good guy right there. But yeah, I like it quite a bit. I have my little surround sound. There's a subwoofer under the bench, and then you might see this little speaker wire connector and a switch. Well, if I turn that switch on, it kicks on a PC power supply that's under the workbench, so I got a 12-volt rail, so I can hook up car CD players, anything that's 12-volt right there, and test it out. So back to the wall. I have a bunch of random car emblems that I've got from body shops and work, kind of spread out all through there. Footprint gas pedal, a turbo turbine out of a F-150. I believe that was on the display, as well as that piston was on the display. Then I have these fake Brembo brakes. You can see I have 4 of them. These are made to actually glue over your factory calipers to make it look like you have Brembos. I thought it was a pretty cool wall piece. It was the only reason I bought them. I had no intentions of gluing them on anything, but thought it was pretty cool. The carbon fiber Nismo strut bar is for a Altima I had. I had a 4-cylinder Altima, and I've always liked strut bars. They tighten up the suspension just a hair, and they're really cheap. So I bought it, and then when I bought my SER, the black one, which is the V6 6-speed, that one wouldn't clear the intake manifold, so I hung it up on the wall. Also got an adjustable cam gear for a single overhead cam Civic. I have the old valve cover off of the chopper build. It's really dark over here for some reason, but it's the speckled painted one, if you can see it. This is a clutch with some torque specs. I like leaving these torque specs for a 212 and a 420 right there, because I am about to put a billet rod, billet flywheel, and a dyno 2 or a mod 2 cam, dyno cam in this engine for Little Red. So I like taping my torque specs up, so when I'm making the videos, I don't have to guess. I can look up and just say what torque they are. But the clutch is out of I built a turbo car a long time ago on the channel. It was a horrible build series. I mean, I was just starting out. I really didn't care about YouTube too much, so I didn't film as much as I should. So I real quickly spray painted that up because it was all rusty, and hung it up on the wall. Then I have a short shifter. I need to put a shift knob on it, but that was for my laser as well, the one I built the 4G63 in, and these was bad about breaking shifting linkages, so I never used it. The shock up there is actually for a GSXR 600 that was wrecked. That is a turbo manifold for the 4G63. It cracked the first time I ran it. That's why you don't use eBay junk, but it looks good on the wall. There's a oil cooler for an F-150 that was on the display that I have over there as well. And this is a 4G63. I think it was an Evo like 6 valve cover. I speckle painted it. Let me see if I can zoom in. I speckle painted it, and then I made this little spark plug wire cover, and then I glued some MSD spark plug wires and put the heads on them and put it on a, I think that's a Ford Focus coil pack that I spray painted red. I think it looks pretty cool. It's just like a wall of performance parts. That is a Ford Focus header. I put long tubes on one once, and that's the headers off of it. And then this was from work. The mechanics took this out because it was faulty. Thought it looked cool. And then an awesome subscriber sent me, this is an ejector handle for a jet. He works on jets for a living, and I think that is absolutely awesome. Going on to the engines. If you remember this is the mini chopper engine. We're not going to mess with it for a little while because I want to get the 4-seater done and then build the 670 go-kart. But all these relays aren't necessary. The only reason I did this was so if I ever needed any relays in the future, then I have them. You know, I only really need about one of those, so I'll probably end up taking the other 3 off and just leaving these cup washers in there. And make sure links will be in the description if you like these cup washers. I think they add a lot to these engines. He even has these oil fill little heads, and you can see I got caps in these. I really like these cup washers. They're a little pricey, but you got to understand this isn't something that's real quick to make. Then of course Mr. Valve Cover sent us over some valve covers for our engines, one non-Hemi, and then I have a Hemi one to throw on this engine when I do that build on it. So make sure you go check him out. He can powder coat them any color for you. He can mill, you know, he milled RVG and ours. He can do pretty much anything. I'll have a better coverage on these on the upcoming video because he did help the channel out and send us 2 of those. And I know it's not cheap, so we need to rep his brand for sure. And I really like his products. This is the motor off of the street go-kart. I really didn't want to fool with the carburetor back then, and I've been wanting to use a 420. That was the only reason I switched it out. People ragged on me like you didn't even try to mess with the engine and get it running. No, I didn't, because like I said, I needed to get a 420 on the channel to make content about it, and I was wanting one, so why not get one and upgrade it. So a guy's wanting to actually buy this engine from me to put on a stump grinder, so he's supposed to come get it this weekend. If I'll ever finish it, I gotta throw a header on it as well as a air filter and air filter adapter and get this thing ready for it to go to its new home. But that's about it. I just wanted to show y'all that wall. Like I said, I never went over it in detail, and I think it's pretty cool, all those parts. I've always liked it. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about these vlogs in the description below. Let me know what you think about me doing a week-long one, you know, Monday through Thursday, then also a weekend vlog. So you pretty much get a vlog. I want to do a main video like the 4-seater or whatever we're working on. I want to do that on Monday. Then I could put the vlog from the week prior out on Tuesday. Thursday you could get the weekend vlog from the weekend prior, and then Friday you would get another build once stuff picks back up. So let me know what you think about that schedule. I think it sounds pretty solid. And yeah, don't forget to always go Power Sports, guys. These videos would not be possible without them. They've supported the channel so much. Tim, Dave, Bob, all the guys down there, Taylor, every single one of them is awesome guys. And I can't thank God enough that I'm blessed with their support from their company. They are truly amazing. So help support them and buy some parts. Use that discount code REDBEARD to save 10% on all your go-kart mini bike needs. And go check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Give us a like and follow there, where you'll see pictures of stuff before it comes out on the channel. And yeah, guys, let me know what you think of the videos, and I'll see you on the next one. This is Redbeard's Garage, and I'm out.